What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So as y'all know, we did end up getting the Maui Expeditions a Motorfest Challenge Log. This is basically going to be a mini playlist that was added yesterday, giving us one big event. We're also going to have the normal side activities like speed trap, escapes, and all that stuff. Then we're also going to have ourselves 50 different challenges. I do want to say, though, I am going to do like a mild playlist review coming up on Thursday, so do stay tuned for that one. We're also then going to have the small custom mode thing here. But in this video specifically, though, I do want to talk about the Maui Big Tour and my honest thoughts on the new event and what I do think about it, like maybe things they could have done better, probably with the rewards and all that stuff that you do end up getting from it. But as y'all probably do know, though, when you are looking at the map, though, you obviously spawn at the car meet. Really wish we can have something that would spawn us over into Maui, but you're then going to see this new shiny thing on the map right over here, guys. You head over to that, you activate it. Then the race is going to show up on the map right over here if you are going to be wondering where it is. It is going to be a fairly long event, basically taking around the entire island. So if you do spawn over to the event, though, the first thing you're probably going to notice, guys, when you do end up doing this event, is you're going to have to use the Porsche Cayman Fitted Edition right here, like you do not have a choice when you do it. That is if you do end up wanting to do the playlist, like if you want to play through it with other vehicles, well, you are going to be forced to use the Porsche 718 Spider Fitted the first time you do it. And I would most likely guess at this point, everybody's going to be like, well, yeah, the first time you do a playlist, you have to run the said vehicle in it. But what do you guys think about that design in the playlist themselves? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I would say a lot of players are like, why am I forced to use this vehicle the first time I do it? Why can't I just run any vehicle I do end up wanting to? Besides that, though, once you do end up completing the entire race, you'll then be able to use any car of your liking. You can throw on the clean driving modifier and stuff like that if you're looking to make more money, which I'll talk about that in a second. But besides all of that, though, the event itself is going to be a fairly long race. In the fitted edition, I think it took me like maybe around 11 and a half minutes or something like that. It wasn't the best driving. I was kind of just cruising along in the event itself, kind of like taking in the scenery and trying to enjoy the event and all that. But 11 and a half minutes wasn't terrible, which is also going to make it a tad faster than the Liberty Territory event, which is pretty nice. That was currently the only longest event in the entire game, and now we are going to have a second one here on Maui, which is pretty dope. I have to admit, guys, I really was expecting us to get a few more of these events, though. Like, yeah, they did give us one big one. I feel like we probably could have gotten at least 3 of them. I mean, we are going to be in the big Year 2 update here in Motorfest. The big thing is probably going to be the content side of it, and I do feel like a lot of players are asking for that stuff to be added. But when you are doing this race, though, expect it to be probably around 11 minutes or so the first time you do it. You're going to make yourself $75,000 from the event itself. You will then end up getting a $75,000 bonus the first time you end up doing the event, but you can no longer reset that and get that again, which I kind of understand. Like, they probably don't want you to make a lot of money and stuff. I would almost guess that's probably the big thing about it. Like, you get the bonus, but they probably want you to farm the race in other classes. And I'm probably going to be pretty much like everybody else. When you do end up completing the event the first time you do in the 718, well, you are most likely never going to use a base level vehicle in this event again. Why? Well, why make the event around 11 and a half minutes when you can definitely be faster in it? So if you are wondering, yes, I did end up running the race again in a hypercar. This time I did end up using the AMG one because I was like, you know what, let's try this thing out in the event. Wasn't going to be the best driving. I didn't really cut that many areas or stuff like that. I was kind of just cruising along in it, and I still got the race done around 10 minutes and 15 seconds or so. So I would probably say the event is most likely going to be fairly quick, and if you are looking to make some money from it, well, yeah, that's probably going to be decent. Also, on top of that, guys, I have to admit, though, I did run this race. I wasn't using a chemist set. Instead, I wanted to throw on a buck set to see exactly how much I could get from the event. And also keep in mind, like, my legend points are also going to be on bucks, which is only 20 points anyway, while all my other 900 plus legend points basically sit there in limbo. Would love to be able to add those into bucks and XP, but who knows? Maybe that might happen, maybe it won't. But either way, though, from this event, though, with a buck set on a hypercar, I did end up getting around $105,000 from it. Is that decent? Well, to be honest, it's not going to be the best overall pay, like I admit, compared to like the Crew 2 in that aspect, but at least in this game we are going to have a longer event, at least a second one, that you can grind out, basically getting the exact same money from the Liberty Territory, but this race is going to be a tad shorter in an aspect of like maybe 9.5 to 10 minutes depending on the car you're running, depending on that run and all that stuff, compared to that race being like 11 or 12 minutes or whatever. So you could probably save yourself 1 or 2 minutes doing this race, making the same same or a little bit more money from this one if you are running it solo. I think if you're going to be in a crew, you'll get another bonus on. It's not going to be a ton, but it's going to be a tad more money than 105 grand if you are running it solo. The thing is, a lot of players are probably going to run this event a bit, but the issue I'm going to have though, guys, it's only going to be one big touring event in the entire game that was actually added after all of that time. Like, yes, I understand the Liberty territory is in that event, but let's be real. Everybody has probably done that race way too many times at this point because, the game has been out well over a year now. Everybody knows that event. We're now going to have a new big event in the game, which everybody's like, yo, this is pretty dope. They're probably going to play through the event a few times. Like, I played through it twice so far. I'm probably going to go in and do some of the custom mode events with it to see how bad those are and to see how long this event might end up taking, like a motocross bike or a monster truck, which, funny thing is, guys, yes, you could probably do it with those classes, but let's be honest though, players who might end up farming this long race is probably not going to be using those. If I had to guess right now, everyone's going to be using a hypercar, most likely street cars, and you know what? I can't blame you because this race is perfect for them. It is going to be a fun, like, fast-paced event where a hypercar, like a street, even a racing, even an Alpha GP car is going to be great in it. So if you are looking to farm XP or something, throw on like an XP magnet, jump on in there, and you guys can get a lot more XP and money that way if you are running those. If you are wondering on that though, running a buck set on my vehicle, I think I got 60,000 XP for it. So if you were to run something like an XP set, then yeah, you might end up getting a tad more XP from it, but it's probably not going to be all that insane. So I have to admit, guys, did I like the new Maui Big Tour event? I think it's honestly pretty dope. The only issue I have with this, though, is I do feel like most players are most likely going to do this event probably a few times and most likely never look at it again. That's one of the biggest issues I honestly have with the playlist, which I am going to touch on that in an upcoming video, is because, yeah, you could do the event. This one only has one event in it. I really feel like they probably could have added at least one or two more into this as like a bigger, like, mid-season type of thing. I mean, we're already in January, and the next quote-unquote bigger update in Motorfest is going to be in March, so it's going to be around 2 months away. So when I did end up seeing the Maui Expeditions, I'm like, yo, this could be a great way to add, like, maybe a few long events into it, maybe have a few smaller races just around the island, fill that stuff in a bit. But all they did end up doing was giving us one event. Like, I am happy they added it. They didn't have to do this, but at the same time, the game, especially the island, definitely needs a lot more races around it. I think everybody agrees with that. And I figured, have like a Maui Expeditions. They could have had at least 3 events in this. Not saying every event has to be as long as this one, but maybe have 2 of them going around different parts of the island because, when you are looking at the line of this event, which I'm going to guess right now and say you most likely notice looking at this, well, it doesn't go over every single part of the island, and that's exactly what I thought about. Like, yes, it goes to the small islands on, like, the left side in this area, and then goes toward, like, the city part over here and whips back around and comes back toward this way, but that's also going to leave this entire middle part empty still and the side over here. Then they're also going to have, like, the entire top part of the map over here basically not getting any of that event, so I feel like they probably could have put, like, a race over here going around this way, maybe whipping around toward the mountain up this way, maybe even a race starting in this direction, giving you like a tour of the entire mountain area, then taking you back over to the fields or something, and then after that, maybe we can go to the left over here, tour by like the west side or something. Again, if you start a race here, start one on the other side of the map, they're really not going to overlap in areas because there is so many unused roads on this entire island. I guess that's just going to be my 2 cents and me looking at the game going, yo, there is so much potential around this entire map. You guys can add so many more events to it. Adding one big event like that, I just feel like that's not nearly enough stuff to go around. Like, maybe add 2 big ones, maybe a few small races around just to mix it up a bit. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And as I did mention before, I am going to do like a small review on the entire Maui expedition. I don't think I'm going to do a challenge guide this time around because many of these are very simple to do. But do let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the Maui Expeditions event in the comments below. And you know what though? I feel like a lot of players might end up being in a similar boat to I am with the new event. Like, yeah, it's going to be pretty dope, but once you end up doing this event maybe a few times, you're like, okay, well, I really don't feel like doing the events that much more because they do not bring a big desire back to you to truly make you keep grinding them or give you a big reason to do them. Again, guys, let me know your thoughts on the event. Do you like it? Do you see yourself grinding it? I'm probably going to take a guess and say, yeah, the event's going to be pretty dope maybe for a week or so, and then it's most likely going to be forgotten.